On a cold April night in 1912, the world changed forever. A ship hailed as the greatest engineering achievement of its time vanished beneath the North Atlantic Ocean in just 2 hours and 40 minutes. She was called RMS Titanic, a floating palace, a symbol of human ambition, and tragically a reminder of human arrogance. More than 1,500 lives were lost, but over a century later, Titanic continues to haunt our imagination. This is her story. At the dawn of 20th century, the world was obsessed with progress. Nations completed to build bigger, faster, and more luxurious ocean liners. The British shipping company White Star Line wanted to dominate the Atlantic. Their answer? 3 ships: Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic. Titanic was the crown jewel. She stretched 882 feet long, weighed over 46,000 tons, and stood taller than most buildings of her time. Inside, she featured grand staircases, a swimming pool, Turkish baths, electric elevators, fine dining, rivaling Europe's best hotels. The press called her practically unsinkable, and many believed it. Titanic's confidence rested on her watertight compartments, 16 in total. Engineers believed that even if 4 compartments flooded, the ship would stay afloat. But here was the flaw. Those compartments did not extend to the top deck. Water could spill from one to next, like ice trays tilted too far. And lifeboats? Titanic carried only 20, enough for about half the people on board. Why? Because regulations were outdated and lifeboats cluttered the deck. Comfort and appearance were prioritized over catastrophe. No one truly believed they would need them. Passengers of all worlds. Titanic carried over 2,200 souls, divided sharply by class. First class: millionaires, industrialists, celebrities, private promenades, crystal chandeliers, personal servants. In second class, we have teachers, clergy, middle class families, comfortable, respectful, and hopeful. Third class: immigrants chasing a new life in America, crowded cabins, shared bathrooms, big dreams. Though separated by walls and rules, they all shared one thing that night. The ocean didn't care who they were. Final day. April 14, 1912. Titanic cruised at the near top speed 22 knots. Ice warnings poured in from other ships. At least 6 warnings were received. Some were never delivered to the bridge, some were dismissed. The sea was calm, too calm, without waves breaking against icebergs. Visibility was dangerously low. At 11:40 p.m., a bell rang in the crow's nest. Iceberg! Right ahead. Impact on realization. The iceberg scraped along Titanic's side for 7 seconds. 7 seconds that sealed her fate. Below deck, water rushed in. 5 compartments breached. There was one too many. Designer Thomas Andrews ran calculations. His conclusion was devastating. Titanic would sink. Not immediately, but inevitably. And now came the worst challenge of all: convincing people to believe it. Chaos, courage, and class divide. At first, passengers refused to leave. Why abandon a warm, bright lit ship for a freezing ocean? Women and children first. The rule was unevenly enforced. Some lifeboats left half empty. The third class passengers struggled to reach the deck. delaying by confusion, locked gates, and language barrier. Meanwhile, the band played on, not to entertain, but to calm. One by one, lifeboats vanished into the darkness. Titanic's bow sank lower. The angle steepened. The ocean climbed the decks. The final moments. At 2:18 a.m., the lights flickered. Titanic broke into two. The stern rose into the air, then disappeared beneath the waves. What followed was silence, then screaming. The temperature was -2 degrees. Most victims died within minutes, not from drowning, but hypothermia. At 4 a.m., the ship Carpathia arrived. She rescued 705 survivors. Over 1,500 were gone. The unsinkable ship had sunk. Conclusion. The legacy. Titanic was more than a ship. She was a lesson. Her tragedy reshaped maritime law. Enough lifeboats for all. 24-hour radio watch. International ice patrols. In 1985, her wreck was found, resting 12,500 feet below the surface. She remains there still, rusting, silent, a grave. Titanic reminds us that no matter how advanced we become, nature always has the final say.